Hi, and welcome to Paper Route Scrapbooking. I'm Nadine, and today I'm sharing the layouts that I made in the month of October 2024 and a few others. Okay, so I did not actually get through all 30 sketches of 30 Days of Sketches before the 31st of October. But look at this stack of layouts, you guys. Okay, so I'm going to be honest with you. 8 of the layouts that I'm going to show you today are actually from August and September. They're the only layouts I made in August and September, and they were because I was teaching classes. I didn't do any other scrapbooking at that time. So that's just the way it was. But look at this. Okay, I'm going to turn it because this stack is just like shocking to me. What? I know. So what we have here is a stack of 78 12 by 12 pages. Now, a lot of those are double page layouts because it was series 16, which was all double page sketches, and I stuck to that most of the time, even though typically I do single page layouts and prefer them, and throw in a double pager every now and again. But this series was just what I needed right now, so I did do a lot of double pages. So I have a total of 52 layouts, 78 pages, and I scrapbooked a total of 240 photos in the months of, it would have been August, September, October. But in the month of October alone, I did 26 double page layouts, 14 single page layouts for a total of 40 layouts, or 66 pages. And I scrapbooked 200 photos, 204 actually, which, yay me, I think that's pretty awesome. And I was only short 2 layouts for 30 Days of Sketches. I did all the way up to sketch number 28, and I have the other 2 layouts started because remember I prepped all my layouts at a retreat. So I'll still do them, I just didn't get them done before the 31st. I was planning to do them on the evening of, what would that have been, October 30th and the morning of October 31st, but I came home early from work that day with a migraine and did not finish and was running behind for work the next day, didn't get it done. So that's okay, life happens, right? But I'm pretty happy with getting done 40 layouts in 1 week, in 1 month. I think this is really exciting. So I'm going to show you what I did, and remember that there's videos for all of these, so if you want to go back and learn more about them in depth, you can always go back. Most of them are on my channel under, I have a playlist called 30 Days of Sketches Series 16 that you can just watch all the videos. Just hit play and it'll run you through all of them. And I'll add the other 2 once I get to them, which will probably be in the next few days. Okay, so this is sketch number 1. I stuck pretty close to the sketch. There's a photo under here, but I don't want, like, this is something that would, require a trigger warning. It's from a police museum, and so it's okay for me, but it could upset other people, and I just don't want to do that. So I'm just going to cover it up with a square of cardstock or patterned paper or whatever for the purposes of the video. And I'm actually going to keep this because I didn't have anything on it when I was like measuring to make sure my camera was in the right spot, and I was like, oh, did I take all of these off? Because I have quite a few photos from some of these trips that are like that. I just don't want to upset anyone. So I'll just keep this in case I have more of that. But anyway, so here's layout number 1. It had some stitching on the sketch, but I just did faux stitching. I really like this one. I was happy with the way it turned out. And yeah, so there is number 1. And right after, so I'm just going to hang on to that in case I need it again. Set that aside. After day number 1 of 30 days of sketches, I went online with my local scrapbook store and did a live stream, and we were talking about using mini paper pads. So I was using a 6x8 paper pad all month. I go live on Tuesdays. I'll have our store page linked below. Anybody can watch. You don't have to be on the store. And I really want to stream live from my Facebook page at Paper Route Scrapbooking, but Facebook is telling me now, I used to be able to just click and say that I would stream live from the store page and my Paper Route Scrapbooking page, but now Facebook is putting in different rules, and it's saying because I have less than so many followers that it's not allowing me to stream from that page. So it's not letting me do that. So if you don't mind popping in there and clicking that like or follow, I guess it's the follow button on Paper Route Scrapbooking, that would help me out. I would really appreciate it. And then I can stream live right from Paper Route Scrapbooking and you don't have to go to the store page. But I like to stream live once a week when I can. And it's Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And we've been doing little series, which seems to be working out. At first it was like we were picking a product from the store, but now it's more like we're going to do a series on something that we want to highlight. So this time it was mini paper pads on 12x12 layouts. So I worked all month with a 6x8 paper pad and made a bunch of 12x12 layouts. We had 5 Tuesdays this month, so I made 5 layouts with 1 6x8 paper pad, and it was a lot of fun. So this was the first one I made, and I just took some of those smaller papers and put 3x4 rectangles and my 3x4 photos and lined them all up, and it turned out kind of cute. So that was one way that we did it. That layout. So that was one. And then I did another 30 days of sketches. Does this one have anything I should be covering up? Let me just, oh, it already has it covered. Okay. Yeah. So there we go. This one is the Peculiarium in Portland. And it had some bizarro things there, but I love my family. Maybe it's because I raised 3 boys, I don't know. But once they were teenagers, we used to check out things like this all the time. It was kind of just part of our travel, and we would go to these oddity shops, peculiariums, that sort of thing. What was another way they termed them? Anti-museums, they would call them. Yeah, so it was strange, but it was something they like to do. So keeping them out of trouble and traveling with us was important. So this one was called Freaky But True. So that was fun. Yeah, so here's another one. Got a whole bunch of photos on this one, which is exactly what I needed. And that's what I got out of this 30 Days of Sketches series, was to get quite a bit of photos in the, because I had printed them all in 4x6, and able to get a whole bunch on a layout was perfect for me. I'm just seeing that the washi tape I used didn't have a lot of stick on it. I wonder where I got it from. Anyway, sometimes I keep it too long, I think. And it just doesn't want to stay down. So there we go. Another one of our 30 Days of Sketches. This one was by Sean Styles Lar. There we go. Keep that one out too. And then we did a basketball layout of one of the NBA games that we went to. And always lots of photos that are taken from far away, so it's easier to cut them down or print them out smaller sizes. There we go. Staying in frame. Such a hard time with that when I have the 2 pages. There we go. And this one was by Stephanie Olson. And again, there are videos for these, so feel free to go check those out if you want to know more. Which way does this go? This way, I think. This one was by Erin Dallas, And it was that sketch there. Let's try to get in frame again. And I was also playing along with Canada's Big Landmarks Online Crop by Monica Hayward at Life is Art. And this was a tic-tac-toe challenge, and you kind of just like went around the tic-tac-toe board and tried to like use all of the things on the challenge board. So I always love those kinds of challenges. So yeah, kind of a nautical theme to this one. I love this shiplap background paper. It was from a paper pad. It was kind of cool. Does anybody else like to play along with online challenges? I love them. I think they are a lot of fun. This is another, see, that one should be covered up too. I think it's kind of creepy. Peculiarium layout. There we go. So for a lot of those, I used some like Halloween themed things because although it had nothing to do with Halloween and it was actually May, I think May or maybe March, kind of gives you that like spooky vibe, right? So I did use Halloween products for those layouts. So, and this was the sketch. It was by Sandy Reviersky, who is State Goddess online. I used to watch her videos quite a bit, and I haven't been watching YouTube videos lately. I've been really stuck on audiobooks, so I go through phases, I think. And I was also playing along with the Big Canadian Landmarks Online Crop with this one and was inspired to add green to my layout. So I didn't have any green on it before that, and one of the challenges was to use green, and so I added green here, here, and here. So there is that. Okay, so this was the next sketch, and I decided with this one to make it 2 single page layouts, but I did it in a way that they could also go next to each other in the album if I wanted them to. So I think if I'm putting it in the order of the actual sketch, it goes like this. So where the patterned paper is at the bottom here, and then the pattern paper is across the center here. This one only had 1 photo, but I put 2 because I just had so many photos. And this is another auditorium. And auditorium is like odd. The things are odd, not like in the AUD auditorium. Yeah, anyway. If you know, you know, I guess. This one was the alien autopsy one. Kind of creepy, I know, but teenage boys are weird. And then this one was all about vampire hunting. I didn't buy it. I felt like the things were, because it said vampire killing kit, but I don't know. I watched enough Buffy the Vampire Slayer to know that none of that's going to kill a vampire, but whatever. So it was just kind of funny, I think. For me anyway. I know some people don't find that kind of thing funny, but everybody's different. Everybody likes their own things. This one was an aquarium. I think this one was the Vancouver Aquarium, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, Stanley Park. So again, the pictures were taken from quite far away. So although they were printed in 4x6, I was able to cut them down to quite small. Again, I cannot stay in that. There we go. Which worked out for this sketch. Although I felt like this was patterned paper in her sketch, but I mean, it doesn't really matter, right? Sketch artist was Darla Weber for this one. Yeah. So I always feel like a sketch is a jumping off point. You can kind of do what you want with it, right? But yeah, so I did another, this is another aquarium one. I feel like I did a lot of aquarium and like nautical stuff, especially in the beginnings of these sketches. I felt like I had a lot of that kind of themed stuff. By the sea. If you're spooked by demoness stuff, maybe don't look at these ones either. Should I cover them? I'll just cover them. I don't know if you're familiar with who Krampus is, but he can be a bit spooky as well. Just cover him up. And here we have another one from that same place, and I did it so that it can be 2 separate pages or it can go side by side, but it is 2 different stories. So it has, this one I took a picture of the actual like thing that told the story. It's really, it's actually like a nursery rhyme that they use in other countries like Czech Republic and Croatia over there. And then they made a horror movie about it a few years back after we'd seen this actually. So I just used that as my journaling. And then over here, I did a separate thing of journaling. So it can be put side by side in the album and like just match, or it can just be separated because it has all its own stuff on it, right? But yeah. So that's how I use that one. And the sketch is really hard to see. I noticed when I was editing my video, it was really hard to see on video just because of the way it printed. But it was by Deb Talbrod or Talbrod. And it had some 3 photos on this side, which I did, and 2 photos on this side, which I did, and then just some like diagonal embellishing happening. And then it had a large title across the top, but since I was telling 2 different stories, I put 2 smaller titles on each of the little spaces there. There we go. Just going to set that one aside, and I will take my cover up pieces back. And then a Disney layout, not spooky at all. There we go. Look at that. So this one was all about Frontierland, and although I think this was taken in Cars Land, so, or maybe Grizzly River, I'm not really sure. Anyways, it was kind of about the land of yesterday and how, you know, that part of Disney is just very nostalgic. So Disney tells lots of historical kind of stories. They're not afraid to do that. I love that about them. So there we have it. Love it. And I just used some strips. This was another one that was a lot of 6x8 papers. So gotta love that. And it led into my next and it was this sketch, which I thought was perfect for 6x8s because it has that smaller scale. So when you cut smaller strips, you can see more of the pattern. And this one was by Claudia Henderson. And then my next layout was a Tuesday Night Live, where I used the 6x8 papers to make a Christmas tree. And this is, I think, the first used up product. So another thing that I counted this month was like how many products I used up. And did I write that down though? I didn't, so we'll have to count them. So this is one of the products that I used up. It was this, I had this fiber, this white fiber, wrapped up onto this popsicle stick or tongue depressor, I don't know what you call them. And yeah, I used it all up. So it is now finished. Stash bashing. And then I actually did this whole thing, and then after I turned off the camera and took pictures of it, I'm like, there's something missing. And then I added these strips of bling just from like the Dollar Tree or whatever, and then it really looked so much better. So that was my layout from my 6x8 idea, was to make it into a pattern. And I really like how it turned out. Used my journaling to make the base of my Christmas tree. Used a cut apart card and punched it into a circle for my title. There we go. And then we have another double page from our sketches, and I used up another product from this, which was this Recollections sticker all about Niagara Falls, and I did a layout about Niagara Falls. So I'm going to set these aside and we'll count them at the end and see how many products I ended up using up. And let's get into frame here. So we have a large, it says large title. This one is from Brianna Spores. And we have a bunch of tags across the top there. That's what I did. I put an extra photo up here. I think it's saying large title, but I actually put my title over here and it says Discover the Wild Pace of Nature. And then Seize Your Someday. And then I put my date on top of this chipboard piece that says July. And I really like how this one turned out. So I got a whole bunch of photos of Niagara Falls there, and it turned out really cute. So yeah, love that tag idea of just tucking in a bunch of tags. And I actually just used the pattern papers from the paper pad and just cut a bunch into tags because I didn't have tags in this collection. So, and again with the nautical theme, like I said, I feel like I did a lot of that in this series. And speaking of which, here we have another sea life one. This one is from Marineland, and here we used up another package of Sprinkles White Assortment from Doodlebug. And this one was by Tara Van Morsel, and it had all the big hexagons. So I got a bunch of big hexagons cut out and got them on there in different patterns from collection that was about sea life. There we go. And it was about the belugas at Marineland in Niagara Falls. So there we have it. And that was a good one. Tara Van Morsel. Tara Scraps on YouTube is her name. So there's another one. And here's another one where we also used, this was also Marineland. So also again with that kind of nautical theme, and we used up another thing was all of these, what are these called? Film strip pieces from Essential Film Strips by 49 in Market in the Lagoon color. So I used up all of those. So that's another stash bash. And let's get back into frame there. So here we go, using up some more of our sea creature products. And this was all about the dolphin show, making a splash. So cute. I love dolphins. They're so pretty. And I did not follow the pattern of the photos for this one because my photos, they were all printed in 4x6, but they cut really nicely into 4x4, and so I just thought I would just run a strip of them across the center, and it worked out really nicely. But I did follow that pattern of having the papers the way that they were in the sketch, and also the placement of the embellishment clusters. So that one was by Lisa Carlson. Another 30 Days of Sketches. This one was about the Canadian War Museum, and embellished with a lot of metals. Get into frame there, and here we go. So this one was, the sketch was by Janet Fritz of Galaxy Girl Creations, and again, just like not the same size of photos as what was in the sketch, but just the idea of the photo collage in that same space, and then embellishing in the same kind of places where she indicated. I also had quite a bit of journaling I wanted to do, so I left some room for that as well. And I feel like that's about it for that one. This one was a double page sketch that I turned into a single page layout just because I only had, so it had 3 photos in the double page sketch, but I felt like the real estate that I wanted it to use in my album was only going to be a single page layout. And this is not necessarily nautical themed, but I feel like pirates fit that nautical vibe as well. So I did use a pirate collection. I did also use a really old Jolly Roger flag sticker right here from Mrs. Grossman's back in the day. Is there even a year on this? Probably not, but oh, there is. What does it say? 2006. So that goes in my, I used up another thing stack. So this was the sketch by Karina Nilsson, and this is the layout that I did, and it's kind of a combination of both sides where I did run the circles across. I did run some strips in behind the photos, and I did put a little embellishment cluster up in the corner as well. So kind of a combo deal. Look at that little skull and crossbones washi. That's from a Disney collection. It's cute. And here's another nautical-ish layout from, where's this one from? This is from the Ripley's Museum in Toronto. Apparently I had been avoiding doing all of these. I don't know. I felt like I did a lot of them. Like I said, weird, right? Okay. So this one was by Helen Ding, and she had all these teeny tiny photos on here. But like I said, I had printed mine all in 4x6, so I just took that idea of like making the photos fit in the same space as what she had. Also, she had this sideways title idea. My brain does not like that. I always just want my title to be across. So I did that. Yeah. There we have it. Another one, double pager going in. This one is another one of the Tuesday night live streams that I did for the store. This is a giant tag I made out of a 6x8 paper, and then the mini tags that I cut from a cut apart sheet, and then just used the papers kind of as layering pieces, and then I used a 3x4 cut apart card as my titling piece, and some of the cut apart pieces as my journaling square and my embellishing. I used a wood piece and some enamel shapes. What else did I use on there? Some baker's twine and eyelets, sort of a thing. Yeah, that's basically the whole layout. But I did use this sketch from Scrap-A-Sketch by Lisa Sikorsky. She has a whole Facebook group online as well, where you can find a ton of wonderful sketches if you're looking. So go check her out. But I used her sketch to help me through this layout. I was already starting to not feel super well when I think I was just coming out of it when I did this one. Had a bit of a rough spot there in October. And then this is another one that was a double pager from 30 Days of Sketches. Get into frame. Okay, and this was another, I used up a bunch of those, these wooden fish with all of those nautical and aquarium kind of things that I was doing. These wooden fish I've had in my stash for ages, and I finally used them all up. So that's what this was. It was just the sticker sheet that they were still on. There was no packaging left on it. So I kept that as a reminder that I used those up as well. Here is the sketch that I was using by Jennifer Gagne. I think she goes by Kay's Mom, Kaezmum, on YouTube. And she's a fellow Canadian as well. So she had this really cool, like in the center, this like layered piece, which was great for using out some of these like narrow strips of scraps. And so I just layered a bunch of those up and then cut in half and used a square of patterned paper in there. And then I used a stencil along the sides, and she had these like circly bits. So I used a stencil where she had all the mixed media, because I don't like really splattery stuff, but I don't mind stenciling. And then I did punch out some of the scraps from that same like ocean-y kind of collection and got those on there. Yeah, and then I put these little like clear enamel shapes for bubbles. I thought those turned out really cute by the fish too. So that was that one. And this one is from Ripley's Aquarium in Toronto again. Too cute. Oh, that goes with this. Oops. Throwing stuff on the floor. I don't know what this is. Just random things on the floor. Okay. This one is from Kristen Hughes. And it is another double page sketch that I followed pretty closely, I think. And it is a Toronto layout. It has, oh, except the title. I didn't feel like I had enough space for my title up here. I just tucked it down over in this space here, and I just used a sticker from the collection. What else? I think that was about it. In terms of embellishing spots, instead of embellishing down here, I put my embellishing up here, here, and instead of down here, that's where I put my title, so I moved the embellishing over. But otherwise, like, I put my photos right where she said to put them, and yeah, it all worked out pretty good. I just used a kind of travel-y collection since we were traveling. Worked out nicely. I don't know, like some of these darker ones I noticed too when I was watching my videos back or editing or whatever, they didn't show up super well on the videos, but I don't know. And then I taught a class at the store, and it was all about using cut files. So I was using Paige Evans products. So we also used some Paige Evans cut files, which was super cute. They turned out so good. So this was a Halloween collection by Paige Evans called Tricks and Treats. She makes the cutest things always. So, and I didn't charge for the cut files because Paige didn't charge for these ones. She gave these away in her newsletters over time, and so the girls just bought the paper and we cut the cut files. So that was it. It turned out really cute. Isn't that cute? This is the top of my dad's head. Isn't that funny? My mom painted it with face paint. So funny. The kids got such a kick out of it at the door. And then this one, the rainbow bats. Oh my gosh, turned out so cute. Love it. So we did 4 layouts in that class. And then I did another Tuesday live. And we, this one was, we made like a happy horizontal. Did you guys ever watch Janet from RTS Scrapbooking? A happy horizontal by cutting some coordinating stripes. So we made a little like pattern. So yellow, red, green, and then went across. And then we used these are actually skis, but because they're in a stripe, when you cut, you don't see the seam because it hides the seam in the stripe strip, right? So that was a little tip and trick from our live stream. So fun. And then again, we used the cut-aparts for journaling, cut-aparts tags for embellishing. We used the cut-apart cards for mounting our photos, cut-apart tags for embellishing, cut-apart pieces for stamping our date. So there's lots you can do with those little paper pads. Let's see. We've got this. This one was a little trickier. The Starburst patterns are always a little trickier. I always think that if I do the Starburst pattern and I save the cutouts, that it'll be easier next time. It's not. I just really need to learn to just start over every time, because I tried that this time again and it was like, no, you just need to do it. So yeah, I did, and it's good, and it turned out so cute. And so I just took a piece of white paper, cut it into the Starburst pattern that I wanted, and then numbered it, and then used that as my template to cut these pieces, and then pieced them all together. They look terrible in the center, but I'm going to cover up the center so it doesn't matter. So this was all a very happy Canada Day because it was the day that we met the next generation. So this is my grandson, my first grandson. He was a month old before we got to meet him. Lives on the other side of the country. It was very cool. Yeah. So that was there. And then we have this one. Also about ghosty things, because like I said, we like to do weird stuff. This is about the mystery house in San Jose, where there are doors to nowhere. And I talked about how having a door with no steps isn't that weird if you grew up in a trailer park. I don't know. My husband just rolls his eyes at me when I say stuff like that, but in my life that was not super weird, but that's okay. Yeah, so this was the Winchester Mystery House, and it was, honestly, it was a very fascinating place to be. So, yep, tells the little story about how there are actually other explanations for all of those things, like with most things. And not that I don't believe that there are, you know, other dimensions or worlds or whatever out there, just that, you know, we have to be open to other explanations too. So, yeah. There we go. That was Sketch 19 by Brandy Joe, Scrappy Boy Mama Online. And we have this one called Artifact. Just going to make sure there's nothing offensive on this one. Nope. Okay. And this one is, I hope you guys grabbed a beverage of some sort. This is one very long video, isn't it? Okay. So this one has strips. So I did this one totally with scraps. I was really like happy with this layout. So I did this one totally with scraps from a 6.5 by 6.5 paper pad, with the exception of the photo mats. Those are the only things that I used the full 6.5 sheets for, because I wanted to mount my photos. But everything else is all scraps. These were all scraps. Yeah, it turned out so cool. But this is the sketch. It was from Miss Carrie of MissCarriesCreations.com, and I really, really like it. And I think it turned out super cool. This is also from the Winchester Mystery House, and it was about the like museum-ish area where when you come in, there's like a little museum area about the Winchester family and their fortune made on weaponry. And then there, as you exit, this was right after the Winchester movie came out, about the haunting of Sarah Winchester. And so there was like a little museum area of the costumes from the movie. So that's what that layout is all about. And then I did this one, which is by the sketch was by my friend Ginger on Ginger's Corner. Go check her out. She's a lot of fun. If you love to laugh, you'll love Ginger. She's a lot of good fun. She also does swaps over on Ginger's Corner Facebook group if you want to go check that out. It's a lot of fun too. So Ginger did this little cool effect over here of wreath, and so I copied that, but I did floral-y looking circle punches, and then I did like a floral stripe down here, and instead of the order of photos that she did, I put mine in a grid. I was just feeling the grid at the time, so that's what I did. And then I did, instead of the two embellishment spots in the center, I did mine in the corners. So just a little bit different there. Otherwise, yeah, that was about it. I also added some like bling and some buttons and some enamel shapes. Yeah, that was about it. I traced my title because I felt like I really wanted it to stand out. And what else can I tell you? That's about it. Like I said, there's videos for these, so if you want to know more about like how I got the centers to be shiny and, you know, that sort of thing. It's all in those videos. And then we have another Winchester mystery in this layout, which is more about the tour and the actual house itself. And then this was the sketch by Holly Fiercely, who is Ivy Cole Creations online. And she had the 4 photos and then 3 photos on this side. I did 4. She had the piece of paper that went all the way across on the top, which I did, that covered both pages. And then the same thing on the bottom, which I did with the navy. It goes all across. Yeah. And then the 3 embellishment clusters, 1, 2, 3. She did them 1, 2, 3 also. Her text is down here, mine is up here, her journaling, however you want to call it. Yeah. So that was sketch 22 from 30 Days of Sketches. Sketch 23 was by Dana Terry. Just maybe we'll... Okay. And this is all about mechanical... No, what's it called? This is all about an arcade. That's what I'm trying to say. That was the word I was looking for. But because I read this, and in French that means mechanical, yeah, I was stuck. So this was the sketch by Dana Terry, and I followed it pretty closely. And then I embellished a little, and I think it turned out pretty fun. And this was one of the most interesting things that we saw along the boardwalk on Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco. And it's just somebody's collection of vintage arcade carnival games. And it was quite interesting. We played there for quite some time. It was very fascinating. This girl gave me the willies, but probably only because I didn't expect her to actually laugh. And it surprised me a great deal. So there we go. Sketch 24 is by Kristen Foster, who is scrapping on the fly online. And she did this really fun rainbow sketch. So I was not brave enough to do the curved rainbow that Kristen had done in her sketch. So I just went ahead and did straight stripes across my layout and made them into rainbow colors, and went down the center of the left page and the right hand side of the right page, and then put my photos in a similar way to Kristen. Although this side, I didn't like the way it looked when I had the bigger photos in this configuration, so I moved it over this way. And yeah, I think it turned out really good. I was really happy with the way that this one worked out. So that was this. Gotta love a Disney layout, right? And then I did another Alcatraz layout, which I have a few more in here, I think. This one was exploring the big house. And there we go. We got clocks because we're doing time, right? We got men because there had to be men in the prison. It was a men's prison. We have tickets and stamps and all the things. So here is the sketch for this one. It is sketch 25 by Stella Harris. And there is a big photo collage in the center, which is what I did. I did not make my title part of the photo collage. I made it separate and put my journaling up above as opposed to part of the collage because I had so many photos. I wanted to get them all in there. And that is how my layout turned out. So thank you, Stella, for the inspiration. Next up, I took the double page sketch that Rebecca Lockhart did. And I also love Rebecca's channel. I need to get back on YouTube and put away the audiobooks once in a while because I'm noticing that I kind of miss watching some of these ladies create. Anyway, So this is her sketch, and I condensed it into a single page, and I really like how it turned out. And this is all about solitary confinement. Do you like how I did it in pink and green? Because that's the colors that they used to paint this place that is said to be haunted, where people have claimed, both prisoners and guests, Alcatraz prison. They say that they look into the corners of these cells, particularly cell 13, and they see red eyes staring back at them. Now, we did not see that. My husband is in this photo inside of cell 11, and we didn't see that. However, my husband quite captivated by human behavior. He's a therapist, and I'm also captivated by human behavior, but I don't research it the way he does. I would not have known about the red eyes had he not told me, but we didn't see any, so that's good news, right? But nevertheless, it's said to be haunted, and I found it very interesting that they painted it pink and green. So I did my layout pink and green. There we go. Here is another, the last of my October Tuesday night lives. Why was I going to say Friday night? Oh, because that's what Vicky Booten calls it. See, I also would just need to get back on YouTube, guys. Okay, the last of my Tuesday night lives for October was this one, where I used some of those small patterned papers and punched a bunch of my scraps into hexagon pieces and made this super cute layout about holiday spirits. Play on words there, the holiday spirit, but also we went to a craft brewery. Or no, this wasn't craft brewery. This one was the Five and Dive. We were dropping the kids off at West Edmonton Mall, and we stopped in for some drinks before we headed back to Red Deer. So there we go. And then we have another Disney layout for Sketch 27 by Terry Rice. She had this big 8x10 photo, but again, I was working with, oh, the sun went behind the clouds. I was working with 4x6 photos, so I just made a little photo collage and used up that same space, right? And then because I had this pre-printed paper with Snow White and Prince Charming already on here, I just flipped my photos so that I had 2 on the bottom and 3 on the top, so we could still show Snow White and her Prince Charming down here. So that one was Terry Rice. So fun. And this was the last one I got done before October ended on me, and I wasn't ready. But like I said, I'll get those other ones done, and then they'll just be part of my November layout share, right? So there we go. This one is by Rebecca Verbenak. Bex Creations on Instagram. Go check out Instagram. I love Instagram. I also have not been posting on there very often. Boy, I just need to get it together, hey? It's funny how when you get out of the habit of something, you just don't do it, right? This one is another Disney layout, just here for the snacks. Who isn't, right? This is my journaling. Everything tastes better when it's Mickey shaped with a spoonful of sugar and a whole lot of sparkle. And I know that's just my brain playing off of things that I saw printed on t-shirts and whatnot while I was there. But anyway, so this was the sketch by Rebecca, and it had 6 photos, which I did. I cut my 4x6s down a little bit to 3.5 by 5 and ran them just across the center. Hers are a little bit staggered, but yeah, I kind of stuck pretty close to that. She had 4 clusters. I did 3, but kind of just like moved the 2 top ones together. So it is still kind of 4, because if you separate the pages, there's 1, 2, right? But made it look like 3. So there we go. That's it for my 30 days of sketches, and that's it for October. But before I go, and I do need to go because my alarm went off and I have to go to work, but I have these, which I finished when I did my September class. So these were just a few, these were enamel dots that I used up on a class that I was working on for the store, all about school, and they were some primary colors. And then this was some, what do you call them? Like layered pieces of school themed embellishments. So those are some more things. So I did 6 layouts for this class. And this one was using the Echo Park Off to School collection, and it was all about using diagonal designs. So this was one layout. This was another. And it just took this diagonal shape going here. This one took a pretty simple layout, but put diagonal shapes in it, and it kind of just bumped it up a little bit. And this one took that big diagonal across the side just to give it some interest, even though it's a one-page layout, or one photo, I mean, layout. And then this one really brings the eye into the center using those diagonal lines, right? They make it kind of look like arrows pointing to those center photos. I just want to point out this little boy had such a, so in Ontario they do 2 years of kindergarten. They do junior kindergarten and senior kindergarten. And his junior kindergarten year was tragically awful for this poor child. I'm not sure what happened there, but something. And anyways, he left school never wanting to go back. He was somehow very unhappy leaving school. And then his parents decided to move him into a different school division. So this is him, this is senior kindergarten. Okay, so this is year 2. Look at him on his first day. He's like, yeah, okay, I'm here. And look at him by the end of the school year. That is a different child. Okay, this is the kid we see at home, this happy-go-lucky little bug. He did not want to be there when he started. He was so scared. He was so upset. And look at, he's holding a comfort object in his hand, a piece of Lego. That was what he walked around with as a comfort thing. I don't know what happened to him at that junior kindergarten, but it was not good, whatever it was. Anyway, this made me so happy. And his teacher was told I was a scrapbooker, and she shared his Google photos with me. What? I know, telling you, the teacher makes all the difference. They were lovely, that next school, and that's where he stayed for grade 1, so I'm happy he's there. Okay, and then this one, building centers. Okay, so this is another one that was just all about the angles. So we did triangles for this one. So a big triangle, then a bunch of little triangles. So fun. So that's another one. And then this is my August class, and this is all about folding papers so that you get to see both sides of your double-sided papers. It was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun with this class. So we folded the papers on the 2 outsides. Here we folded down a paper over here. This one we kind of made like a pinwheel design where we folded and folded and folded and folded. It was a lot of fun. This one we kind of made like a curtain design where we folded over and then put something in the center. I loved this collection too. This, I think it was called Good Vibes by Echo Park. It was like it was a summer collection, but it was fall colors. It was so pretty. Summer Vibes, that's what it was called. And then here again, we did like almost like open the curtain and show what's underneath, or fold the blanket back or whatever. I really liked that one too. And then here it was like almost like the turn down service where you like fold it over and show what's underneath. Turned out really cute. So total excitement. That's what it is. Total excitement. 240 photos have been scrapbooked, 78 pages, 52 layouts. It's going to take me forever to put this stuff away. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate you being here. If you have any questions or comments, I really do love hearing from you. Please don't hesitate to say anything. And I will always try to respond sooner or later. I hope you all have a great day. Bye for now. And I almost forgot. How many things did we use up? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 packages. We used up 8 packages. 8 packages of product used up. That's so exciting. Thanks again for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate you all. Thanks for being here. Have a great day, everyone. Bye for now.